Hello, I'm Yaniv Price, a software engineering leader, coach, consultant, and the author of Fixing Management. Welcome to the Fixing Management podcast, the podcast that gives you actionable guidance on becoming a more effective leader. Today I want to dive into a topic that underlies almost every leadership challenge: psychological safety. Psychological safety is often spoken about in leadership circles, but seldom practiced well. And yet, it's one of the most powerful levers you have as a manager. That's what this episode is about: what psychological safety really means, why it matters, and how to start putting it into action as a manager. Let me begin with a personal story I also shared in a blog post about this topic. My team was in a rough spot. We were facing a tough challenge, and our manager decided that we would brainstorm solutions. He gathered us all, clarified the problem, and said, "Share any idea." Encouraged by that invitation, I shared what I had tried in the past in a similar situation. But his response was, "I asked for any idea, not stupid idea." Silence followed. No one contributed any idea, and the manager shared his solution, which we of course adopted. That moment demonstrated how fragile psychological safety is and how easy it is to destroy it in an instant. When people feel that speaking up might expose them to ridicule or rejection, they stop contributing. That's not a team that learns. That's a team that hides. We define psychological safety as the belief that one will not be punished, rejected, embarrassed, or humiliated for speaking up, for sharing ideas, asking questions, admitting mistakes, or taking interpersonal risks. In environments with psychological safety, teams can voice uncomfortable truths, explore new ideas, and hold difficult conversations without fear. Why does it matter? Because teams that are safe make fewer mistakes, learn faster, and innovate more. Google's Project Aristotle found that psychological safety was the number one predictor of effective teams. And in a study of hospital teams, unsafe teams initially appeared safer and more competent. Fewer reported mistakes, which was surprising. But that's not only because they were not reporting. The real danger was hidden. Over time, lack of learning and unexpressed errors led to worse outcomes. Let's list the benefits of psychological safety. Less fear, more learning. Mistakes get surfaced and discussed instead of hidden. Everyone is learning from sharing a mistake and talking together about preventing it in the future. Mental energy freed for value, not for self-preservation. People stop spending brain cycles worrying about how to hide a mistake or about political safety. More experiment, more ideas. Innovation and divergent thinking emerge. Concerns and red flags get surfaced early, before they become crisis. Help gets asked for earlier, reducing waste and preventing burnout. Decision-making informed by reality, not filtered stories and wishful thinking. These are foundational for any team that wants to improve, adapt, and perform at high levels. How to build psychological safety? Let's first look at what you can do privately with each direct report. Let's start with the one-on-ones. Make them consistent, weekly, rarely skipped. Let your direct start with their topic, and this could be any topic, either related to work or not, because in the end, every topic affects work. Listen deeply and ask questions. Keep what they say in the room. While it may drive actions you may take, don't share this information with others. Always follow up on what they brought up or action items you took on. Build rapport. Show you care personally. Know their life, not just work. For example, their spouse and children's names. Feedback. Give them timely feedback, as close to events as possible, whether positive or negative, but not in the notorious feedback sandwich method. Coaching. Be in the role of supporting the process of them acquiring new skills, not prescribing how to get there. Delegation. Give more responsibility, acknowledging the output is initially less than perfect. When receiving feedback, don't ignore it. Either show you act on it or explain why you cannot. Don't surprise your team with sudden changes. Give time to process. For example, if you decide to start having weekly staff meetings, tell them 2 weeks in advance, including the why and what it's going to look like. Share information widely when you can. Don't just pass it on. Attach your translation to what it means for the team. Enforce norms. Don't let disrespect or gossip go unaddressed. Those erode safety quickly, and today's exceptions are tomorrow's norms. Also not from that special snowflake who was given a pass to behave negatively due to their brilliance. Let's move to public or team setting. In meetings, speak last, so others' voices are not suppressed. Even if you only suggest an idea, the team will rush to adopt it. Don't publicly shoot down ideas. Don't give negative feedback in front of others. There's not much teaching to others there. Give them in private. Be vulnerable. Admit your mistakes, ask for help, and of course not in a way that seems desperate or reducing confidence. When bad news arrive, don't punish the messenger. Focus on solving rather than blaming, and the earlier you know, the better. Focus retrospectives and postmortems on improving the future, not on blame. The past cannot be changed. Avoid redoing someone's work without their knowledge. That communicates you don't trust them. Don't make exceptions for a certain team member. The famous "he's just like that" erodes fairness. It's important also to clarify what psychological safety does not mean. It's not a guarantee or a request that people are happy all the time. It's not an excuse to allow bad behavior or break standards. Negative feedback is given, performance is managed, and conflicts are resolved. It's not always comfortable. Sometimes difficult conversations are needed. It's not permission to let standards slip or tolerate repeated mistakes without addressing them. If safety means we can't ever call someone out, it's false safety. Good safety lets you challenge behavior. If you want your team to do bold work, bring their best thinking, hold you and each other accountable, and grow, they need to feel safe. But psychological safety doesn't just happen. You have to build it intentionally. It lives in the little moments. How you respond to feedback, how you invite ideas, how you talk about mistakes. If you skip this foundation, all your structures, OKRs, process, coaching, feedback are weaker because people won't surface what really matters under the surface. If this episode gave you ideas you want to try, test one private and one public behavior this week and notice how people respond. And remember, it will take time to see results. That's it for today. Thanks for listening and keep fixing management.